Hey folks, this is Jadius,
And this is Bayus.
and we're in the Wood League, and so are you. Today's game pretty special. Our first ever viewer submitted game. We're going to be doing two of them tonight, but this is officially the first ever one. Greziz, the Blue Terran, has submitted this game as he calls the best comeback ever. So I'm pretty excited to see it. And he's
Yeah.
going to be facing off against this red Protoss, Gildo.
So, Jadius, before we get started, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
As you know, this game is on Scrap Station. I was just wondering whether you prefer on Scrap Station to bust through the destructible rocks in the middle here, or to go around the long way.
I almost always, without fail, bust through the rocks first and foremost. I try to get some early marauders. Of course, I play Terran. I try to get some early marauders, no matter who I'm playing. And maybe that's a mistake on my part, but yeah, always try to go through the rocks. And I found that it usually works for me. I have a pretty good track record on Scrap Station. And,
It looks like Greziz is not going for a block here, or at least not yet. And Gildo is putting a secret hidden pylon at the left side of his base. Let's see if he's going to be able to do any warping in.
yeah, this is some early Protoss aggression that people like to do when the starting area is really big. There's a lot of dark areas, and people aren't looking for a probe or a worker that easy. And I know it's caught me a few times with some proxy secrecy that a probe can sneak in. And Greziz at this point, I think, has no idea this is going on.
Yeah, it would seem as such. He has not yet scouted out that pylon. I'm not sure if he's going to. Looks like the probe is coming back at the moment.
Yeah, probably wants to convince Greziz that this is his first time in the base, and he's going to probably do some pretty routine scouting here, so that Greziz thinks, okay, here he is for the first time. No funny business going on. I can complete my block. Nothing to really be worried about. Building a forge, Gildo, rather than a first gateway, so maybe we're going to see some tower rushing, some OT here from the red Protoss.
Yeah, it could be. The problem is, in order to do that OT, if he's going to make use of that pylon he's already put down, Gildo's going to have to get back into the base and hide that probe. I don't know if he'll be able to hide again. No doubt Greziz sees him going over here. I have a feeling he's going to discover this photon cannon before it's too late, but we will see.
Yeah, right now, looking through Greziz's vision, sees at least one photon cannon warping in, but four of them warping in simultaneously. Only one Marine, two more on the way.
Some of those are going to get completed. No doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure. These two back ones are definitely on their way to completion, and I think that this could prove difficult for Greziz to defeat.
Yeah, Gildo should be canceling this last one here, but he
No,
will
it'll
not.
probably survive and probably be able to.
Wow. One hit point remaining on that final photon cannon.
Shields
So I
just
guess
now
it was
starting to regen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greziz and tough here right now. Gildo sticking with the strategy of just building photon cannons. Meanwhile, in his base, still no gateway for Greziz.
Yeah, I was about to say Greziz
so-
should be moving this barracks, and he actually did move it. So, good choice there to actually just back it up, move everything in your base out of range of those photon cannons, and just defend as usual here.
Yeah, probably, Gildo's spent enough money at this point that Greziz can figure he's not going to be bringing any zealots or anything like that at the moment, and the base block probably not prudent at this point. Still going to be making Marines. Kind of locked off here. His gas production probably a little low. This command center being put to task right now.
But a little bit of repairing will take care of that. It looks like his mining SCVs are actually slightly out of range of the photon cannon. So he got lucky here. Those two SCVs mining the leftmost mineral field are going to be fine.
Yeah, the Marines have managed to take out one of the warping in pylons, so Gildo can't really expand that kind of OT strategy that he's doing. But now two gateways up with some zealots coming out, more probes, double gas, and a cybernetics core right now for the Protoss. So he's going to try to push his advantage, and figures Greziz probably can't do much right now as far as teching up, going into to higher level units. A lot of Marines still being pushed out.
Marines. And this command center, or these photon cannons, are actually not really doing much. They're slightly holding back Greziz's income because he's continuing to repair. But other than that, Greziz is not really losing any units. he's not. This command center is not in any real danger of going down right now.
Yeah, like you said, the range disadvantage that Gildo has right now is kind of keeping Greziz at bay, but still making money, still being able to repair this while still maintaining a good steady build of Marines right now. We got about, let's see here, 10 Marines on the board with more on the way, 2 more barracks on the way. Zealots and Stalkers being made by Gildo. 2 more gateways. That will be 4 in total for him. Cybernetics core, pretty standard Protoss build.
He's gone back to the normal build after his crazy OT start. Looks like Greziz definitely has enough Marines right now that he could easily destroy these 2 photon cannons. But I guess he doesn't want to suffer any losses, so he's going to wait till he has a little bit of a bigger force. But in my opinion, with a little bit of micro, Greziz could take out these cannons with no losses at all.
Probably also anticipating that Gildo at this point is making ground units, which is the right thing to think. Gildo's done the damage. He's had the OT be successful in the Terran's base, kind of pushing.
But how long do you want to repair this command center for?
Oh, I know he's gonna have to push out soon. I think he's just waiting for enough Marines. You're probably right. He probably does have enough Marines at this point.
Gildo now has 6 Stalkers and 2 Zealots, so I'm going for mainly Stalkers right now. And not really doing anything at the moment. Oh, starting production of a couple more Stalkers. And moving out with his army.
Yeah, Gildo's going to try to push out with these Stalkers and a couple of Zealots here. Terran expressing his dissatisfaction for the OTing.
Yeah, but like I said, he could take down that proton cannon right now.
A planetary fortress now being transformed for the Terran, and this is a pretty good strategy right here, I think. Probably doesn't want to push those Marines out and through that little pathway. Probably wants to keep them behind that barracks right now. But planetary fortress is going to be a good tool here because it's going to start to go to work on these towers, and it's transformed just in the nick of time, pretty much.
Gildo moving in beside his photon cannons to attempt to shield them. Greziz holding position with his Marines for the time being.
Yeah, really could do himself a great service by flanking here with his Marines. I don't know what he's doing exactly, waiting.
I mean, I guess again he really values the lives of each one of those Marines and doesn't want them to get in battle against all necessity. Willing to sacrifice SCVs, of course, but these Marines will not enter the fray at the time.
This planetary fortress basically soloing all of the Protoss' force, and the Marines didn't really need to come into to work at that point. Planetary fortress
has 8 kills.
Is a boss planetary fortress. Unfortunately, there's no ranking up for the planetary fortress. We can't call it a master or a commander planetary fortress. But with 9 kills right now, definitely doing the brunt of the damage. And the Terran can't believe he is still alive, but he is. Probably has enough Marines to go and take down these pylons. Still doesn't want to risk it. Looks like a factory coming down here for the Terran.
Gildo says, nice job. I'm not sure if he's being sincere there or not, but oh yeah.
Hey, you got to think he was sincere. I mean, it looked like it was all doom and gloom for the Terran. Protoss just sticking with Stalkers right now. I don't know if that's the right move. Warp gates being researched, and he wants to be able to get out enough troops to finish this.
Armored units, so I suppose they take less damage from Marines.
Oh, I know, but with the double up on the planetary fortress, it'll be pretty difficult. Probably like to see him go for void rays, maybe not void rays, but higher tech units than Stalkers.
Yeah, a couple Colossus would end the game right here, but he's going to push out with a few more Stalkers.
I'd also love to see this Protoss expand. I can't believe he hasn't used his advantage to expand at this point. Looks like a Ghost maybe on the way, a tech lab being built on the 4th barracks here, trying to prepare for maybe some EMPs, a starport and a factory going up. No attachment on the factory yet. Don't know what he's planning to do, if anything, or maybe he just wanted to build the starport.
Starport's falling outside of Greziz's base.
The Terran exchanging
calls Protoss a bastard.
exchanging some pleasantries with the Protoss. I know that I get pretty frustrated with OTing, so I understand. I understand where Greziz is coming from.
Well, at least Gildo is not a Zerg, and he can't move his towers closer and closer to Greziz's base. These towers over the left are pretty much useless for the time being.
Yeah, it doesn't really need to worry about this. This is kind of just wasted minerals right now for Gildo, but the statement has been made with the OTing, and this game is gonna progress from there. That those towers aren't really going to play a factor. But no expansion, no expansions for either of these players. The Terran, understandably, going to be hard to expand for him. But he could have probably gone to the middle island, the shared island. But the Protoss really needed to expand when he had his advantage and did not.
Yeah, I was about to mention that Gildo should be warping into his little base at the top left here, and now he's beginning to do that with stalkers. But against this many Marines, I would like to see something different, like perhaps Zealots, even a large amount of Zealots should be able to take out these Marines.
Yeah, Zealots.
Not sure if Stalkers is the proper counter.
Zealots with charge mixed in with these Stalkers could definitely take out the Marines, while the Planetary Fortress kind of pummels them. The Planetary Fortress is going to be a hard thing to avoid for the Protoss, but sticking with the all-Stalker army right now, those photon cannons will protect his warping in.
Well, a little bit of air, like you mentioned before, Void Rays would be a perfect counter to the Planetary Fortress. It just does so much damage. Any units Gildo moves in here is just going to get really badly owned by this Planetary Fortress.
It takes his recently warped in Stalkers and tries to go head on with this Planetary Fortress. Probably not the best idea. These Stalkers are going to go down.
Now he's focusing on the fortress, which again, it's like focusing on the unit in the game with the absolute most hit points that can be healed the fastest. It's
up to a lucky number 13 kills for the Planetary Fortress, really doing the best work here. The Zealots now warped in, and
seems like Greziz now has control of this game, or at least emotional control over Gildo. Gildo is getting frustrated and he just wants to end it. He's moving in here and taking on the Planetary Fortress once again.
Yeah, Greziz needs to get repairing on this, let the Planetary Fortress do what it was designed to do.
And now Gildo smartly engaging the army of Greziz. But yet the Planetary Fortress continues to own one Stalker at a time.
It's still staying well within range of the Planetary Fortress, which is with his main forces, while trying to split them apart and take out the Marines. Probably not the best idea. Greziz.
I'd like to see these Stalkers do a little bit more dancing with the Planetary Fortress. Once you discern the range of the fortress, you should be dancing outside the range and trying to entice the army to come to you, as opposed to continually taking shots from it.
This Planetary Fortress has paid for itself 10 times over right now with 23 kills. It is absolutely keeping Greziz in this game, and in fact, kind of turning the tables in my opinion right now. There's still 5 warp gates in operation here back in Gildo's base. He can still kind of push the issue and hopefully circumvent the Planetary Fortress, which is what he's trying to do right now. A couple of Hellions on the board, medevacs with those Marines still.